through this video I would like to share my experience of the 4 years in BTech Mechanical at VNIT. So like most of the people think that the conventional approach to BTech is like going towards the goal. Like you have 4 options, which is like you either do MS, MTech, or you go the MBA route, or you do a job, or you decide to take a break because you don't have anything to do. So what I feel engineering should be about is, engineering is about making things, about making a difference. So most of the people take engineering out of compulsion. So the best career advice that I would like to give to anyone is, don't do anything in your life just because you like to do it, just because you have to do it. Do it because you like to do it. Okay. So most of the people ask me that what do you want to do? What should I do? What would have better scope? So is this a good option? Is this field very productive in the next 10 years? So my reply to all of you is, a good field is something that you really like. So choose a job which you can do for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without being paid for it. That should be the job that you really should be doing. So there are always 2 types of people in BTech, actually 3 types. Some of them who always are 9-pointers and run behind marks. There is a second category who are always making something new, doing different stuff. And third category is always who are wondering, why am I over here? Now people who know me would know that I make a lot of robots. So the reason why I am able to do that is because whenever I make robots, I feel that I'm playing cricket, or I'm doing something, I'm taking a break from my life. So that's how your job should be. You should feel that your job is like playing a game. You should enjoy it. And that should be your goal in life. I can give you a very defined path if you want to take up robotics in your life. So like in the next part of the video, I'll be explaining of what you should be doing if you want to go on the research side. So from my experience, I am a 7.7 pointer CGPA till now with no re, no back. But frankly, I hate exams. And I don't believe that exams reflect the intelligence of a person, which most of the people would agree with me. I don't believe in by-hearting or studying for just getting marks. So most of the exams should be open book. That's my opinion. So my message to all the researchers would be that study for knowledge and not for marks. If I ask you some derivation, some question, you should know the concept. You should probably be in a state to, even after 10 years, if I ask you something, some concept, you should be in a state to just look it up and answer, give me an answer within 5 minutes. That should be your goal of your studying. So my message to all the researchers would be, concentrate on your projects. Many people think it's all about getting a 9-pointer. It's not. It is very important for you to apply what you learn in the classes. In today's date, you don't need to be in a good college to learn everything. There is Coursera, Udacity, OpenMIT, Stanford EDU. There are many websites which would give you exposure to the top institutes of the whole world. The exact classes what are taught over there are available on the internet. So the barrier of being in a good college is out of question. You have the best resources. Second thing is, most of the people complain that our professors are not good. So that's the message. You have good professors, you just need internet. So get a good internet. So like people who've taken part in Access in our college would probably understand, like when you are making a underwater navigation bot, like if you are asked to make a robot which can float on water and sink in and move at different heights, so how would you do it? So like many people say that we'll attach a motor, and some people will wonder whether that DC motor which we saw will it work in water? So indeed, if you grease it and pack it, it can perfectly work in water. And second thing is like people attach some fans and try to move it up and down. So like another solution would be that there is this pump which is used by doctors to measure BP. So what we did in our first year was our whole team, actually Harshit Kumar in electronics, he came up with this idea of using that same pump and attaching it to the robot, and when you basically pump it, the robot will float and you can release that valve and release the air inside and it will go down. It is something which is very basic, but that is the foundation. So the first step in robotics would be to take part in Axis. It will give you the exposure, it will give you all the basic things about theory not working in practice. That's where you learn in all, it's a small package in Axis. You should take part, but your aim should be to take part in some IIT. Because taking part, and that too in the first year. So if you take part at some IIT in the first year, you have a very nice exposure towards things going wrong at the last minute in a competition. So I highly recommend taking part in competitions. Like once you take part in Axis, your aim should be now to go to some IIT and take part over there, and that is really easy. So your whole environment would be like IITs बहुत photo होता है, and how will I take part, how will I cope up with that competition. So it's actually the same level as Axis or any other festival at any other college. And in fact, even if you go over there, you will see that most of the people who come over there are not from IITs, they are from some local colleges, and even the winners are from local colleges. So my main message to everyone is like, we often discriminate ourselves. Often people who are in the NITs or other colleges who did not make it to JEE, IIT is just a tag that you get. It's like a Versace jacket that you have. Another jacket may be as good and keep you away from cold, but it might not have that tag. Okay, so probably winning at an IIT will give you that satisfaction that I have defeated someone over there, and that is a very important confidence boost for you to get. So basically do that, and it is not difficult. So you speak to any person who has done it, you can take advice, you can take help, you have seniors for that, contact your seniors, everyone is ready to help you. And like at VNIT we have the IEEE club, so none of the seniors, none of the club members will ever tell you no for anything. You just go to them whether you are a member or not, surely they will help you for anything if you want to do technically. And once you've taken part in IIT, you can then think about competitions like for competitions from TI or NI, where you're given some $200 funding also if you get selected, and then if you win you get 2 lakhs. You have to upload a video from your lab itself. So that is a relatively easier approach. Like you don't have last minute failures, batteries draining out. You don't run into such problems. If your project is good, you are guaranteed to win. So my message would be like, after first or second year, you take part in IIT level festivals, and then you go to these. Now it is very important for you to do good internships. So if you have made many robots, or if you have done many such projects, then you should start sending emails to professors at IITs. Okay, so second year do an internship at IIT, third year do an internship abroad. That's the ideal thing to do. So to do an internship at IIT, all you need to do is make a nice resume, include photos of the robots you've made or the projects you've done. It is very important to do projects, because apparently all you see over here is getting a pointer and you are the best person in the batch, but when you go outside no one cares about how much you got. It's all about knowledge. Engineering is about knowledge. So you are going to be measured by the amount of knowledge you have and the amount of things you've done in your life. Okay, so always remember, study for knowledge and not for marks. So send an email to the IIT professor, and definitely if you have good projects, even if you have a pointer of around 7, you have pretty nice chances of getting a good reply, and probably an unpaid internship might not harm you. So do that, that'll give you a good exposure, and then by the time you complete the internships, you have 1 year to use that new set of knowledge that you acquired from your intern towards getting or building yourself up in the next 1 year, using that knowledge to do better projects such that you can suit yourself to do an internship abroad. Now to get into DAD, it is very important to get a pointer of above 9.4. So if you can't do that, you can't go through DAD. Okay, so it is very important to get a nice pointer, but there are other agencies such as I think MITEX for Canada, and there are a bunch of them. You can just Google about these agencies you can apply to, and each has a pointer criteria of about 8 or 8.5. When I was there, I wasn't eligible for anyone because my pointer was 7. So for the people who don't have any good pointers, you have to send emails directly. Look up any good university, look for the professor, tell him. It is very important that you read what the professor is doing. You can't just spam any professor. So in my case, what I did was, during my second year internship under Professor Amarnath, I had read these papers by how he was set, and I really used what all he had published, and I learned a lot from him. So then when I wrote an email to him, and he was genuine enough, he was kind enough to reply. So that's how I got my internship. So it is very important that you don't just spam a professor with all your requests. So do an internship abroad. Even if you don't get one internship, you have the internet, you have Coursera, you have many YouTube videos about the projects being done at foreign universities. Try to do a project which is better than those, or at least at par with those. Then it doesn't matter where you are from, because a person is judged in research, a person is judged by the amount of publications he has or the number of patents he has. So it is very important for you to get these stuffs. So you can just browse on IEEE Explorer through. By the time you have done projects in TI and these internships, you will have that exposure of coming up with new ideas to a level that they can be implemented to. So just look up about the existing technologies in your field and come up with something new and implement that by the end of your third year. So in your third year vacation, if you don't get some internship abroad or at an IIT, you should be implementing something which is not being done till now. And then independently or under a professor at your own college, I'm sure there will be no professor whom if you approach with a new idea will just discard it. So just take help from a professor at your own university, and if you come up with a new idea, he might even fund you. Eventually, I would like to end everything by saying that I have taken part approximately in around 8 competitions till now. The last of being TI, Analog Design Contest, in which we came third. But for the previous 7, I never came in the top 3. So I have lost 7 times in my life, in the whole BTech 2 years. So imagine taking part in a competition and losing, taking part in another one. Sometimes it's about battery being low, sometimes it's about not calibrating properly in an image processing event, not getting the correct drivers for a camera, forgetting something at home before the competition. Every time it is some small silly mistake which will not take you to that first position in the team. When you know that your robot was the best, when you can just see that robot was working at home and you didn't win in the competition, that frustration, you have to get over that. And it's about the things that you learn by taking part. It's not about winning. and you should be happy if you don't win, mainly because people tend to get lazy once you win. You get all the fame, you get, you're in newspapers, and then you feel like, I'm famous, I'm good, I'm great, and you start developing attitude. So you should be happy that you're losing, because that's when you'll be more hardworking. So my message would be that you should find, joy in losing, because when you lose, you have more inspiration to do better next year. If you just win, then you're like, okay, I've already won. So it's important to lose. So try to lose in your initial competitions. And in life, I would just like to repeat what I said initially. You should always do what you really like. Never come under pressure of anyone, be it your family. So, like, there are some people who are not well off in their family, and who really have to earn. So always responsibility comes first. So, but there are many people who don't have responsibility, and just out of laziness and just the hunky-dory attitude, you tend to just go with the flow and do what your friends are doing. If you go with that, and probably after 4 years you'll be like, 4 saal nikal gaye, what have I done in BTech? So trust me, that's not where you want to be after 4 years. So be it arts, be it drawing, be it singing, be it making robots, be it finance, be it a startup or entrepreneurship. Trust me, engineering is one place where each and every college will have a club for everything. And whatever I've said, it was mainly biased towards robotics, but everything is general. So every field has some competition, and all you gotta do is prove yourself by winning at those competitions, by doing internships under famous people in whatever field you are. And then by the end of 4 years, just get yourself to that level where you can say that this is what I want to do, and this is what I have done in 4 years, and I can do it. That's what you have to say to yourself and to the people who don't believe in you. So, like, one of my experiences with my friend in US was, he was a person who was not an engineer, but he was an amazing artist. He made very good sketches, and he used to come up with these sketches of robots. And then he started learning Blender and Rhinoceros and these 3D modeling softwares, and then he got a 3D printer. Then he made his own stuff. There was this another example of one of my friends who completed doing BTech, like BTech equivalent graduation from Cornell University, but she was interested in cooking. So eventually landed up with a job of being a chef at a restaurant. So imagine that tradition in India. After completing 4 years at IIT Bombay, if you start a restaurant of your own, or work at some restaurant as a cook, people will look down upon you. And that is the fear that everyone, that is a fear which is within everyone. And my message is that you have to get over that fear of doing something to look great in front of others. Life is about being happy for yourself. Okay, there are responsibilities that you have to complete in your life. So as long as you don't compromise on those responsibilities of your parents, of your brothers and sisters, and all the things that you have, you can do anything that you want in your life. You are not under someone. So it's all about, what I feel in India, it's about what will people say. Everything is people driven. So it shouldn't be that way. Everything should be about you. So all the best. And if you want to ask me anything, you can just comment on this video. So thank you.